All right, guys, welcome back to the Creative Hub, the #1 podcast in the universe. We are here today with Caitlin Henning, but we have somebody else coming as well. Side note, actually, Caitlin is officially my co-host. So it's going to be the two of us. I think, honestly, you're like the best here in Boise when it comes to social media. And then when it comes to content, I think I'm pretty decent at that.
Yeah, mediocre at best.
So when it comes to marketing, guys, this is the podcast for you. Whether you're a business owner, entrepreneur, you name it, you're trying to grow your brand organically, tune in. Listen to this because we're going to give you all the nuggets and gold info you need to know about how to scale your brand properly. So today's guest is going to be somebody that I think is a very interesting individual. When I met him for the first time, we talked for like 3 hours.
Not
and
surprising.
That's not, yeah, sure, I like to talk a lot. This guy likes to talk a lot too. But you don't usually have these conversations with people. You don't meet somebody for the first time and have a 3 hour long conversation, forget what time it is, and then leave. He is a visionary. The dude is super smart when it comes to content, growing brands, really good in front of the camera. He knows what he's doing. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome DMAC, voice of Boise. Come on in, brother. Woo! Woo! Let's do it. Welcome, brother. Thank you for coming.
Hey, what's up?
What's going on?
So, appreciate you coming on, man.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Oh, wait, where's the robe?
It's over there. I arrived in a robe today.
You actually showed up in a robe.
Yes.
It was amazing. I texted, I was like, so I want to explain this a little bit because I saw you playing piano. Your girlfriend, she posted the story post of you playing the piano on the robe, and I was like, this is literally David. Like, This is the epitome of who DMAC is.
Yeah,
and
I
I
almost had a mask on too, like a.
Yes.
It was great. And so I texted him, and I was like, dude, can you please come up in the robe? Because I just thought it encapsulated you very well.
Yeah.
And he was like, what are we doing?
What are we doing?
What is
Yeah,
this
I was like,
podcast?
what is going on here? But then, hey, I arrived in it. So.
You
Yeah,
did,
actually showed up in the robe. But
I'm here.
Always looking very dapper.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Very clean, and then I'm in a hoodie. So let's get down to this thing. So we got some questions for you, man. I want to talk about actually quite a few things. I can't take the credit for this because Caitlin actually came up with all these questions.
Thank you. Brains of the
I'm gonna
operation.
be like, dude. So I was up till like midnight coming up with all these
Coming
You're
questions.
up
like,
with all
what
these
are
questions.
the questions? Yeah.
Yes.
So all right, let's do this thing. Let's start off. Dude, what'd you graduate with in college? You got your degree, right?
Communications degree, emphasizing media, minor in marketing.
Oh.
At BSU.
Oh.
At Boise State.
Yeah.
Yeah, Boise State. Okay, you've been your whole life, right?
Grew up in Dallas and then came up here to play football at Boise State and then studied.
Okay, what'd you play in football?
I played wide receiver, Boise State football. and-
Fourth string, fifth.
Yes. Well, yeah, close. I was there with a lot of good receivers, so I played left out in a way to where I was just there to support. I walked on the Boise State, played a little bit on special teams, but that's where that drive started of like, I know I am somebody. Even though I didn't play, I was around all these All-Americans. I was
Yeah.
like, I know I have something to offer too. So that's why I was like, I got to start something.
Is that kind of where the story started, you think?
That's exactly where it started.
Yeah.
Dude, because I mean, growing up, I was in JCPenney ads as a kid. I did Macy ads as a kid. I did Barney as a kid.
Are you serious? I feel like I knew that. I
I think I told you that.
Dude, you
I
probably
didn't know
did.
that. That's pretty
That's probably
cool.
one of the million things that I heard when we first linked up.
Right.
And I
Yes.
tried to retain it, but I couldn't. Dude, that's
There's a
cool.
lot.
But
You're
those-
definitely a JCPenney kid. I can see that.
So there's like all the things I did, dude. So like once I played football, and then once it like didn't work out, I was like, I know where I'm gonna go. Like this is it, man. Being
Yeah.
here and promoting
And hyping. You're a big hype man. I
And
love
hype 'em
that.
up.
I love that about you.
yeah, bringing
Yes.
energy. So
Yeah. Yeah, you're just like a fun dude to be around. Like,
Thank
and
you,
people
man.
like it,
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Good
I'm,
energy.
don't boost your ego too much. I'm just
You
kidding.
hope you
No,
will leave through the door.
Dude, I love it, bro. So you're utilizing your degree in business, would you say? Like that's kind of what you're applying to. Okay.
Yeah.
I had a question though about it. How much of what you learned do you think you're actively applying? Like you're working within the field of your degree, but how much of what percentage of what you learned do you think you're applying day to day?
Shoot, probably like 5%.
Oh my gosh.
Honestly, bro, like all that stuff I learned after college
Yeah.
with experience in entrepreneurship. I mean, I learned, the theory of communication. I think I did learn how to communicate better
Yeah.
and read different cues, but that all came after college, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you get into the real world.
When you get into the
start
real
learning.
world.
You start actually meeting people. You start actually failing at conversations and figuring out what works and what doesn't.
Exactly. Like, oh, what I did there sucked. That was not
That
it.
was, I think I read that in college. Hold on.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, I love that.
Oh man. What was your favorite subject in school?
Favorite subject in school for me was, honestly, dude, I didn't like all the math and stuff. I really did like the reading and communication like classes where I could present to a class. So if they could tell me, David, speak on a classic rock group from the 70s, go.
Yeah.
We used to do those improv lessons in my college class, so I could go up there and just off the spot be like, for 10 minutes, go for 15 minutes on just this random subject. that is what I enjoyed most, of like being put in the fire and then just coming up with, you know, something to say. So that really started me speaking and being like a media spokesman thing. So I loved doing that.
I feel like that, sorry, I feel like that really does tie into the real world. Like being
Oh,
able
yeah.
to get in front of a crowd and speak is so massive. So many people can't do it. To sound educated, to feel confident, right? Like you learn so much of it. That is, yeah. that's
Dude,
such
if you
a
just
strong
act like you
attribute.
know what you're talking about, nobody has questions.
It's also
You'd be
very true.
surprised. Like,
But that is one
Yeah.
differentiator that I do have with some of my clients is just me being a person who really, before I even got in the whole marketing business lane, I was just doing stuff for myself. I was just hosting events for myself. I was speaking for myself.
Yeah.
So I knew what I wanted to say on camera, but most people don't know what to say or really
Yes.
know kind of where to go. So I kind of give people that expertise of like, hey, sit here and just say these things, and after they say, they go, "Oh my God, I felt so good." I was like, "Yeah, because I've been there too. I've been in your seat
Yeah.
too." Makes it feel more comfortable.
when it comes to speaking in front of people, how much of that do you think is like inherent versus how much is learned? Because I feel like you got to have that personality. You know what I mean?
You do have to have that
question.
personality. Like I would say, for somebody like me, I've always liked speaking in front of people, so it wasn't really much for me to learn. However, I still had to like get over nerves growing up on stage.
Oh, yeah.
But for some people, they have to understand, this is like a crash course of speaking in front of the camera, is you need to get in a space when you're speaking or promoting your brand or whatever. Start talking about things that you're comfortable about. So if you really are a person who's really smart in, let's say, business development, well, let's start a content clip of you just talking about the things you've learned. And before you know it, after a minute, you're just talking of all these things you learned, and you're like, wait, I can do this speaking in front of the camera stuff. And it's like, yeah, because you're speaking in this realm of knowledge, of you talking in your
Confidence, yeah.
comfortability. That's number one. And then number two, always do presentations or steps in front of the camera. If you're uncomfortable, start with 3 to 4 things. Say, number one, I want to talk about this, and explain it. Number two, and when you start with your 3 to 4 steps, it gives you kind of that space to say, okay, I said my first sentence, let me gather my thoughts. My second sentence, let me gather my thoughts. So that helps people who haven't spoken in front of the camera before to kind of break up their process.
How important do you think it is for business owners to be speaking in front of the camera and making content?
Right now, I think it's huge, man. I think it's all, we talked about this last time. Some people will say, if you build it, they'll come. But I think in this day and age, people want to know, like, dude, yeah, this is a person behind the brand. This is what I do. This is how we're doing it. And if you can't explain your brand in front of the camera, let's change that, or let me help you change that. Because
Dude, yeah.
it's a key thing, man.
Why do nobody does it? Like this is such an obvious thing that people need to be doing. Like everybody knows,
Yeah.
like, I gotta be making videos, but nobody freaking does it.
Right.
Why?
Well, because there's nobody who maybe has the expertise in that lane to make them feel comfortable about it. And I've seen this every day to where they might want to, but then as soon as somebody like us comes into the forefront where they feel comfortable in front of the camera, then they say, oh, I really want to do this, because it starts with an idea. But then when they really start thinking like, I just set my own phone up and my camera up and come up with my own lines, this is not good. But when they see someone like me or you come up to them and say, here's your script. Now just say these 4 things. Okay, now say these 5 things. All right. After a 45-minute shoot, they go, is that it? Then they go, whoa, this is easy. I want to do this again. But they probably had disastrous experience with somebody who was just a photographer, a videographer, and didn't know what the hell they were doing. And they were like, I never want to do this again, because nobody was there to kind of give them the expertise or the knowledge on how to do it right. If you show them how to do it right, dude, people are going to love it. They're going to really enjoy doing this stuff. But you have to have somebody who knows how to explain, like, hey, relax. We're all comfortable. It's just rolling. Mm-hmm. Tell me what you think. Like in my shoots, a lot of the times I don't like doing scripts. I mean, if it's longer things, I'll do a teleprompter. But I like doing where people come from the heart. If we're doing a client testimonial or an employee testimonial, I just ask them, hey, camera's rolling, but why do you truly feel that this company did something great for you?
Yeah.
Okay, and just roll. And as they're talking, they're in their flow. I've been here 10 years. I've always loved this company. I've always loved the Boise area. And it comes out as a good clip.
Yeah. There's content where scripting comes in handy, right?
Exactly.
Like educational stuff and content where you need to be very precise with your words
Absolutely.
and you have a specific agenda. But a majority of stuff talking about like your brand, your why testimonials, what you said before, that stuff's best when you go off the cuff. Like there's no pre-planning. And people always ask me like, can you send me the questions before we shoot? Because I want to look it over. And I'm like, nope.
Nope, you're gonna get in your head about the whole thing. Like, let's not do
anything.
that.
I want to just sit down and ask you questions.
I will touch on that as well, by the way. Having a bad experience, it does get people where they're like, oh God, I can't shoot another video. I had that bad experience with the videographer, photographer, whatever it was. They get in their head. And I've literally had that pushback from people. Best advice, do it again. Find someone who's really, really good at it, like you guys, and just actually do it again. Like, it sucks, I know, but get out of your head. And just because one bad experience, like, it shouldn't hinder you from doing it.
Right.
Because it is massive.
Yeah.
So.
And both of you guys are just great at what you do too as well, because the main thing is just making people feel comfortable in their shoot and then giving them a direction. You do those two things well, people they'll have some good content.
Yeah, for sure. And there's a lot of other stuff that goes into why people don't do it. Because I think when it comes to building a business, I refer to like the first part is the startup phase, right? Startup phase, you're trying to break that. It depends on your industry, but typically like 5-figure a month consistently. Once you break that, then you're probably in the scale phase where it's like, okay, now I have income, I have capital, like put back into the company, and now we can start scaling and grow faster. Then you're doing 6 figures a month. Now we're in the enterprise phase. Now it's time to aggressively grow, and now like, you know what I mean? And I think it doesn't really make sense for people to spend money on somebody to come in and make content for them if you're still in that startup phase. Like there's people that come to me all the time and they're like, hey, I want you to do my content. And my first question is, how much are you guys making right now? And what's your overhead costs? And what are you profiting? What are you pocketing? And they'll tell me they got like $2,000 a month to play with. And I'm like, keep going, keep doing what you're doing. Let's come back and talk once you reach this point. Not just because that limited money you have can be better spent in other avenues. Sure. You can make content yourself, guys. Like if you're a business owner, not only can you, but you fucking need to. Like you have to. It's not really a luxury at this point anymore. Actually, not really. It's not a luxury. It is a necessity.
Well, I had somebody call me the other day. They were a builder, and they were saying how I did one video for them. It did really well, and they sold their property with it. And then I was like, hey, we can build something out. And they were like, we can just do this on our phones, whatever. So she called me back. And she was like, we've done this on our phones the last 2 months. It's turned out awful. We have no idea what we're saying. We're talking way too long. We did way better when you were directing us. But they were still like, I was like, well, so what are you willing to pay? Like, I have a plan. They were like, well, I mean, I'm like, so you're continuing to go in a circle. So you're going to have to make a choice somehow of when you're going to take this next step of investing, saying, I do need to be better at this. Let me trust this person with it. So it's just I brought that point up because it's interesting how some people, they do try to do it on their own, but some people need that person to say, 1 second, let's put you here, let's do that there.
I think everybody benefits from that. Everybody. And I think once you have the capital,
exactly,
everybody needs to be investing in somebody that, and I don't say this because this is our job and this is what we get paid to do and I'm biased. I say it because this is why I decided to do this job. This is why we got into it, is because of how powerful it is and because like it's literally everything. Content is everywhere. We're consumed on a daily basis by content. Like we binge content, whether you like it or realize it or not. It is the world and it is everything right now. So you can either miss the train or you can jump on it and find the right people. But that's the key too, is finding the right people, AKA these people right here.
Right, exactly.
Find the right people that know what they're doing to provide the right results for you. Because so many people decide to go the cheap route and they'll find some cheap videographer, like, hey, just make some videos for me. And like, no disrespect to those guys. Everybody starts somewhere. But you get what you pay for at the end of the day. Remember that, guys?
Yeah,
So if you're spending like $1,000 a month on content and you're frustrated, you're not getting any results, let's consider the source. Like let's
That's true.
What are you spending money on? Who is the person? Who's the individual? What are they doing?
That's true.
Because that's the other thing as well, not to go down a rabbit hole, but I guess I will because I'm still talking. It's not just content too, but it's the distribution.
Absolutely.
Matter of fact, I think that's half of it.
Yes.
No, it is. It's half of it. You can have amazing content, but if you don't know how to distribute it and you're just posting on Instagram and then you kind of sit back and watch, that's not going to work, right? You need consistency. Collaborate with people. Guys, this collaboration feature on Instagram is
awesome,
freaking
man.
powerful, dude.
It's so
It's
good.
powerful. It's so simple. It's free, by the way. Also, did I mention it's free? You can post, collaborate with people, and now you get access to their audience. So a simple, strategic, organic way of growth is get with somebody within your industry. Let's say you're a real estate agent. Find a broker or a lender that you do a lot of work with. Get together, make a piece of content for them. Say, hey, I'm going to make a piece of content for you. Let's get educational, get in front of the camera, and then cross post so it goes to both your channels. So you get access to that other person's following as well. And if you're strategic with it, you can go around and look and say, okay, who has my audience? Who has my demographic that I want to get in front of? And then reach out. I'm going to make some content for you. Hop on a free podcast with me, or hop on a quick little cell phone video.
That's
and then
what
we're going to cross post.
We're doing now with my talk show, because I had a lot of big guests on it for season 1, and I'm launching a YouTube channel. So we just decided, let's just re-release all these clips we had with the Heather Cox or the Dallas Cowboys guy and all these different players, and just do the collab feature. Get their network, have them tune in.
And it's not like you're just pulling from them. You're adding value to them too. It's free content for them as well.
And it's half
you know
the
what I mean?
work. I mean,
Totally.
you're not having to go through and post it twice like we used to have to do. I mean, it really is
Exactly.
like, hey, let me take that amount of time of having to post and do everything for you. So,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's crazy. And then obviously, so you've got the organic route of distribution, then you've got paid. That's a whole other animal in and of itself. I'm actually pulling away from that just because I want to focus on what I do best. And it's really hard to be really good at both things, because there's a reason there's entire marketing agencies that just do distribution. They just do paid advertising and campaigns. I know how to do it. Don't really want to do it anymore. Now we just make content and we work collaboratively with other people in my sphere that are really good at paid advertising. But anyway, every industry is different. Everybody's like, for example, if you're in e-com, you got to be doing paid ads. You got to have funnels. You got to be making, Facebook, YouTube advertising. If you're an agent locally and your audience is comprised of within like a 20-mile sphere, then go organic. Be posting consistently on your Instagram. The organic game is very important. It's everything, but it's a long game, right? Like you're not going to see results quickly, and I think that's why so many people fail, is because they try it for like a month and they get frustrated and don't see results. Guys, this is like long. When I say long, like 6 months, a year, 3 years. It's totally different. You just have to stay on top of your game. And this panel that's coming up actually is going to be baller, because we're going to talk about all this stuff and go in depth. And we're not going to be limited to an hour-long podcast. But anyway, I want to pull back a little bit, make sure we kind of set the foundation before we go deeper down into this hole. David, what do you do?
Yes.
So 3 things. I have my own marketing public relations business called David McKenzie Enterprises, where we just focus on telling brand story and bringing brands content to life, number 1. Number 2, I have my own social media talk show called The Voice of Boise Show. People call me The Voice of Boise. We now have the number 1 social media talk show in Boise as well, too. We've had big guests on there, NFL players, athletes, celebrities, musicians. And then thirdly, I'm a brand spokesman. So all these go underneath the umbrella of promoting somebody else, promoting others, telling brand stories. So if a brand needs a face or somebody to tell their message or to explain what they're doing, I do that as well. So those are 3 things that I do in a very 20-second quick manner, and we're enjoying doing it. And I think you were talking about different realms of marketing, and if you're in e-com or if you're whatever, there is a realm of marketing too, where there's some people that have the sales, they have the revenue, they have these things, but they really don't have any pop to their brand. They really don't have anything telling their story. You
Don't have a face.
They might not have a face,
It's not humanized.
or you go to their page in Facebook and all it is stock photos. And it's like, man, like here's this awesome technology company, and it's just, you see all these stock, and these photos, you need stock photos, but I see these technology things, or if it's a new food brand or whatever, and you see all these stock photos, and you're like, hold up, but like, can we get in the nitty gritty with this company? Like, can we interview the employees? Can we talk to the chef who makes the food? Can we talk to the CEO and why he created this company? Can we look at the technology? Can we show content of the people working each and every day and tell their story? So there is a realm of just telling the brand story and showing their audience, wow, this is what we do. Because check this out. I can post a picture all day long of me with a microphone doing like this, right? But if somebody like Ridge or Caitlin pulls a clip from this podcast of me speaking on whatever, now that picture has now come to life, and now it goes to people saying, I want him to come speak.
Yeah.
I want him to come consult. Now, that stock photo didn't do that. But this action video of showing who I was did it. It's the same thing with brands. It's like that picture of the food or the picture of the technology, people say that's cool. But then when you do something where it shows somebody using it, show the CEO talking about it, why he created it, now people say, damn, I got to download that app. I think the video you made for Bryce talking about the music app, NFT thing, I watched that, and 30 seconds later, I downloaded it. You know, it made me go, whoa,
You were
okay.
influenced.
Right. So that stuff does work.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, Bryce is an influencer now.
He is.
right, exactly. Yeah. But that's my 2 cents.
Yeah.
No,
okay.
I love it.
What do
That's
you?
great.
What would your parents? How would they describe what you do? What would they say? Like, if you asked your mom, like, "Hey, what's David do?" What'd she say?
They've always said, you know, we grew up, when I grew up, they were always, I watched things like Johnny Carson and Jimmy Fallon and Steve Harvey and Ryan Seacrest and all these people and what's the guy's name? Dick Clark. So they've always said, you know, you have a future in this and to be spokesman and
I
do these
love
shows. I mean, they speak life. Any parent listening to this, you need to speak life over your kids. That's what my parents did to me. And so that's what they would say. You know, they know, hey, he's going to do something in the entertainment business. And through my whole life, it's just always been these different signs of me doing stuff with these celebrities and entertainers and different networks and CBS and Good Morning America. And it's just like, obviously, this is where God's calling me to be. I don't need to shy away from that. I just need to continue to flow in this flow. So that's what they would say.
I love that so much. That's awesome.
Love you, Mom and Dad. Yeah.
Shout out.
Shout out, yeah. Are you aggressively reading my notes right now?
I'm just looking it over. Yeah, I'm just chilling. What about you, Caitlin? What questions you got? What do you want to talk about?
Other than the ones I wrote down. I'm kidding. I'm kidding, Rich.
You want me to share
I'm
it?
kidding.
I'll
I
share it,
love
sorry.
it. I love it.
I'm stealing all of her questions.
It's okay. It's okay. So no, it's good. It's good.
She's sitting here watching me just like,
No, I love this. You're so well
You
spoken. It
shyster.
works.
You backstabbing son of a...
Like he
Get
even
up and
needs
walk
this.
out of the
I know
podcast
this
right
guy
now.
is so good at scripting. It is mind blowing to me. He's like, oh no, I've got it within like 2 minutes. But this is one that I did like. So when it comes to social media, obviously like posting video, doing your thing,
Sure.
what do you think like one of the best pieces of advice you can give to somebody right now? Maybe that doesn't pertain to video specifically. What would you say best advice? Daily
that they can do
habit.
themselves.
That they can do themselves.
that they can do themselves. One advice I would just say is the first thing, if you're in real estate, if you're in whatever industry you're in, start speaking on something that you have knowledge on in that area. Somehow put your phone up, make it live, be in your office and talk about, if you are an architect, talk about what this market's doing in the architecture world and just give 30 seconds on that. Show some your organic, authentic self more than just you posting a picture. I think, posting a picture is cool, but like I said in the last point, if you are a CEO or somebody and you want to get more out there and you want to start doing more stuff with your social media, start being organic with your stuff. Hey, I'm here with my, our new employee that we just did. We're super excited to have him here. Go give him a follow. This is his handle. And, hey, you guys have a good week. Now, I know it might be on a crappy phone, but still people are going to say, hey, shout out to Jim who's joining the company. We're going to go give him a follow and add some cool interaction, engaging stuff. So that'll be my first point. Do something. Just post something of you doing whatever. It could be organic on the phone with your wife or whatever, going to the office, getting out your car, going over some spreadsheets. Do something. And from there, it'll just evolve.
So lean into what you know.
100%.
I love that.
I think
Yeah.
some of the what holds people back from doing that, because it's literally that simple. We talked about it on our first one. It's just hit record and then post
Yep.
it.
Mhm.
I think
Yep.
what holds people back are two big things: limiting beliefs, thinking they're not good enough, thinking that nobody wants to listen to them, or whatever the case may be, and it's just simply not true.
Yeah.
And two, or else you wouldn't be where you're at right now, right? Or two, what was the other one? So we got limiting beliefs, or I'm drawing a blank.
It's okay. We're not live.
That's true.
That's the great thing about having
I literally
Charlie,
just thought
edit
about
this.
it. We've got, yeah, right. Don't show this, Charlie. Actually, I don't care. Limiting beliefs, but then also, dude, what the? I was
I mean,
like,
there's
oh, this is
always
a good
like
thing. And
the
then I was
making
gonna say,
time for it. I mean, people, I know that's a
making
thing
time
as well.
for it is huge. Like excuses, like I don't have the time for it, or
I
I'm
did
not
this
good
last
enough.
time
Whatever,
too.
you know.
I drew a quick blank.
Yeah, it's the worst, isn't it? Give me a sec. Hold on. Let me
It's
think
okay.
for a second.
That's okay. We'll give you a couple seconds.
Keep staring
We're
at me.
gonna
It
time you.
makes me feel good.
Keep staring at me. Just start tapping.
'Cause I thought it was good.
Oh, jeez.
Oh yeah, like agents, not calling anybody out, but you know who you are. Agents that just post photos of themselves all the time, which honestly is kind of everybody. Like all agents do that. They just post photos of themselves. Why do they do that? Why do they post photos of themselves?
That's a
with a
generational
cliche
method, actually.
motivational caption. Like, I'm sorry, but it probably worked and it probably works to an extent now. And I'm not saying it doesn't work.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it doesn't work anywhere near as good. Like they could be putting their effort and energy in something else that's going to work far better than just posting photos.
It's literally, if you go back to the MySpace days, like we were that generation. I think we're kind of, how old are you?
I'm 26.
Okay, well, I'm older than all you guys. It's fine. But basically, it was a generational thing back in MySpace where it was all about
MySpace.
taking those, like selfies, like all that jazz. And that was really what our generation leaned into. That it's really like bled over into all these other apps that literally were so used to that. They call us like the selfie generation. And a lot of the other generations now have sort of like leaned out of it. But I see that a lot where it's like, hey, here's me. Or they put the same photo over and over again on their graphics. And that's something where I'm like, don't just post a graphic and put your face on it. Brand the graphic. You don't need to put your contact information on every single thing that you post.
Yes.
You really don't. I promise. People can contact you.
Right.
But
So generational thing, I think too, people realize they need to be consistent, and they think if I'm just consistent and I just post stuff, something's going to happen. And I'm going to get more followers, I'm going to get more engagement. When in reality, if you're just posting a photo of yourself over and over, it looks clean, it's polished, professionally taken. It's not really going to do much for you.
And see, but with that, you're right. Both of you guys are right. But it's also too on what the person is looking for. Because
very true.
Because there's some people, not every agent out here might not be able to say I'm going to do a full build out of like return on ROI videos, ads. Some can probably do it, but most of them in their budget or whatever can just say, hey, this is what I'm focusing on now. And it's not just real estate. It could just be a company. What if you're a company who's, you're very successful, you're a top CEO, but, you have nothing on social media. Like you literally have nothing. And like really, you just need to have something there.
yeah.
That just might be a start. And then maybe after they do that for 5 or 6 months, then you can say, do you want to kind of take it to the next level?
Totally depends on your goals.
Well, and I think too, I think it's good to put their
industry.
face in things, and that's how come we love lifestyle branding shoots, right? Like I promise those work, but they don't. I mean, it doesn't have to always be. I'm totally a selfie taker, like
I want
hardcore
to rephrase
too.
real quick.
But
I want to rephrase. I think photos are great, just not every single thing you post needs to be a photo. I think photos are great like fillers. Like
True.
let's throw a photo there. Let's do a lifestyle
Yeah,
photo
yeah,
here.
yeah.
But you got to be doing video. Hey, newsflash, guys. Instagram is no longer a photo platform. It's a video platform.
It's a video platform.
Like reels are getting pushed disgustingly more than
Which
any
I
photo
don't like
or-
because when we released our show, we do our stuff through IGTV.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
before,
just long
and
form.
IGTV, I thought, prepared the user to say, hey, this is IGTV. I want to watch it. I can't watch it now. I'm at work, but later tonight, I'm going to go back to watch this 10-minute video.
Yep.
Where now it's combined with reels and IGTVs to where people are swiping. It could be a great 6-minute clip, but people say, and they're continuing to move.
Yeah.
I don't personally like it because I think it was cool to have the things separated to where now in the shoots I'm doing, I'm structuring the content to where it's like, hey, bro, we got to grab this thing in the first 3 seconds.
yeah,
Like, so
that's
instead of
true.
you saying, hey, I'm great to be at this really cool office. Here's some awesome things that you guys need to go check out. Plus, check us out on the website. Let's go inside. You've already lost it. It needs to be new office.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Legos.
You know?
It sucks, and I
You know
hate
what
it.
I'm saying?
No, I
hate it too.
do. I
Yeah.
do. I
I-
think, I miss the longer form of content.
Yeah.
But I think there might be an adjustment. So we saw with TikTok how they were like 30 seconds, 60 seconds.
Yeah.
Right.
They upped
Yeah.
it to 3 minutes. I think it's something like longer than that now. And so I think Instagram will have to adjust because IGTV was great. That was the only other way of having a swipe up feature for a very long time, with the exception of having 10,000 followers or more, right? So I think that we're going to have to kind of head that direction because just like watching those short clips on TikTok, we really started leaning in and started like kind of building these relationships with people that we're going to want longer form. And I
Right.
think that Instagram's going to shift. I feel like it has to go back
Yes,
to that.
I agree.
Because and I will go to a YouTube channel and I will watch the whole length of something, but Reels are those short, snips of things.
So
Right.
what we've been doing, and I hate it too, but unfortunately the new rules of the game now, so got to play by it. I think reels are great though. Like if you have long form content, people will watch it if it's good content.
Yeah.
If
That's
it's good,
true.
they'll watch it.
That's true.
But because Instagram is pushing reels and getting that in front of more eyes, what we're doing now is we're making reels and highlights of the best parts of long form segments, aka this podcast. We'll use this as an example. The whole podcast, the long one, which by the way, I looked at the downloads on Libsyn, we're getting an average of like 200 downloads a podcast, and we've done like one.
That's Rad.
Actually, I think 2.
Let's
And
go.
it's going up so quickly. And I honestly think I owe it to making the highlight reels of like
Yeah.
the best parts. And people
Yes.
are like, oh, that's dope. And then we make it very easy and seamless to just click on one link and go directly to the YouTube video and watch the whole
Right.
video.
Right.
Or they can go immediately to Apple. They can download it on
Spotify or-
Spotify, right?
yeah.
Exactly.
So I think highlights can be used as a really good tool to drive traffic to the long form content that you really want views and eyes
Yeah.
on. So if you have long form content, make highlights, make snippets, 15, 30 seconds, best of the best, put it on reels, and then drive traffic from that reel to the actual YouTube page. Bryce had one video. It's kind of, I think the algorithm is kind of similar to TikTok. I'm still trying to learn the TikTok algorithm. I don't know how it works, how it operates. It's like magic. But I think Instagram is kind of similar to it because Bryce posted a reel the other day that I think got maybe 4,000 views. And that was weeks ago. And all of a sudden, I think last night it got like up to 10,000. So it just grabbed traction.
Yeah.
So on Reels,
yeah.
especially every once in a while, I don't know what causes it, but something will just grab traction and it'll take off.
I will
Just
literally
like
touch
TikToks.
on that and say, do not delete your content. This happens, and people have mentioned it to me, and they're like, it only got so many views or so many likes. You never know when something is going to freaking take off.
That is so
do
true.
not delete your content. Just keep it there. Even if it just sucks, you don't know when something's going to come back because something could become trendier, or there could have been a hashtag or something, or that sound, and it could, completely take off.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Oh, 1 second. I'm sorry.
Did your guys' computer die?
Oh, wait. Is that? Oh, yeah. Time went off. Okay, cool. I'm gonna stop there.
Cool.
I'm gonna start over.
His little guy used to open it up again.
I didn't even look at that.
You're so well spoken. I love it. You guys are. I
wait,
know you
that's
guys
so
are. Yeah, I love it.
What are some
little bit.
other questions you guys got? Let's see.
I would tell you, but my little guys. Put your finger here.
I would tell you, but fucking Ray just asked all my fucking questions.
No, it's so funny because he is. He's very good at
I'm
speaking.
sorry, I totally
So it's like
I
it's
didn't mean to
okay.
steal that
I
from
don't
you.
care.
Fuck
You're
this guy.
golden.
There you
No,
go.
I was curious. Like, okay, we're back.
Yeah,
on
you lead the
phone.
conversation now.
Whatever.
I didn't mean to take that over completely. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I shouldn't have done that. Okay, back to
No,
it.
guys, don't even. Okay, so this will be really good. So I always like to talk about how social media and putting yourself out there can like majorly impact your business. Like, I mean, there's.
I'm
Oh.
sorry. I was just thinking like these.
This is a
angles-
great question, by
because-
the way.
Because we keep looking this way, but the angles you kind of like. I just thought about that.
I'm
That's
looking.
what we've been doing, so we're gonna.
That's
keep it.
okay.
I keep
Yeah.
looking which way?
You're good. It's just with us because we're looking this way at you. My angle just shows like the back of my head. So for future, it's really not a big deal
I
at all
think it
now.
looks
That's kind
good.
of why I keep going back this way. But for future stuff we do, I'm just gonna move it here.
Okay.
Smart.
So like our angles would be more on
I
us.
think you still look good because if you're here, if you're looking at me, you still look
Yeah,
fine.
it's really no big deal. It's kind of just a me thing. But
It's just a
noted
me
for
thing.
next time. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
This is
Jalen.
a great question, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'm excited
Cool.
about this question.
Okay, so let me restart. Okay, so I talked about this on our last podcast too, about how social media can majorly impact your business, right? It really can influence other people, get them to think a certain way. Kind of, you really get to develop this brand and tell people what to think. How do you think social media has impacted you and your business and what you've done as far as like your success?
Dude, honestly, man, everything. I remember 2.5 years ago, I was just starting to host a lot of events. I was getting a lot of hosting gigs, like Miss Idaho. I did some stuff in D.C. I was doing the Miss Governor's Ball. So I was really doing some things that was some like good traction with heads of states and stuff. And my friend was actually Blake Haggett. Was like, dude, you
Good
should
guy.
start doing, good guy, right? So you should start doing social media, like putting yourself out there. I go, dude, that's honestly not me. At the time, it was not me at all. And I was like, I don't really want to be on my phone and all that. And it goes back to my point again. Once I started posting these lip syncs and I started showing my personality and I started showing myself at these events, people knew my talent, but only my friends did. It was people that were watching me going, holy shit, I didn't know that you did impersonations. Like,
Yeah.
bro, I didn't know that you were doing that. Like, what? Like, and so from that alone, I think I was at 5,000 followers when I started doing that stuff. I had some clips that went viral, and I just started going from 15K to 20K,
Yeah.
25K. One social media clip of us doing a Backstreet Boys lip sync got on Good Morning America, where they called me and was like, can you do this in front of the Backstreet Boys? It ended up not happening.
It was on Good Morning America.
Yeah, bro.
No
they showed like, a
way.
quick
Way to
clip
live
of
my
it.
dream.
And then through that, I was doing CBS that reached out and they were like, you should do, can you help us with casting for the show Big Brother? And so it was like all these things.
Wow,
But
that's
that
amazing.
came 3 or 4 months after I started posting me doing these things.
Yeah.
And that's why it's been huge. to know that if you are somebody who is really gifted, a great writer, a great speaker, a great coach, and you don't have any social media, you're doing yourself a disservice, because there's some people in your network who know that you are a coach, but they have no idea the skills that you can bring to the table and how your energy is. And once you start posting, you will have no idea how many opportunities you're going to start getting by people saying, I knew he was a good speaker, but this is incredible. Let's do coffee. And it can change everything.
Oh, I love that so much.
David, I got to ask. I need some impersonations.
I know. I almost was going to ask in the middle. Like, give us like one impersonation.
No, two.
Two. Oh, okay. Two. Oh, your best ones. No pressure. No pressure.
Oh, man. Shit.
You see him, he was like, oh, God, okay.
All right. I'll do Obama for you.
Yes.
Okay.
Just ask me a question.
Okay, so... Hey, so Barack, how do you think... What would you have done differently during your reign?
Your reign. You could say during your presidency.
What would you have done differently during your presidency?
Look, it's a great question. Look, Michelle, she feels that we're on our way. And look, Sasha, she feels that, look, I talked to Snoop Dogg the other day. And Snoop Dogg told me to put your hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care.
Oh, my God.
Well done. That was beautiful. That was beautiful.
I love that you brought
you
Sasha
want Donald?
in.
Donald, I want Donald. I was gonna ask for Donald.
Okay, here we go. Jeez.
We're making this controversial from the start. It's fine.
Let me get my paycheck this morning. Okay. Ask me a question.
You go.
Oh,
What question do you have
gosh.
for Donald Trump? This is a once in a lifetime opportunity.
I know, this really is. What would you say was your favorite part of your presidency?
That's a tremendous question. I can assure you that. I like Reggie's a tremendous guy. I can assure you that. I like D.C. It's a great state, a tremendous state. Alaska has huge glaciers. Glaciers are great people. I can assure you that.
I can't. Do you go home and practice these in the mirror?
They just come. They
just happen.
I mean, like, the
That's
best I can do
great.
is like Shrek and Donkey. Like, Donkey.
Whoa. You can do those.
No. Like, I'm
Okay,
not that great
your
at
turn.
it. All I'm saying is, like, it'd be like, Donkey. You know
But,
what I
you
mean?
know,
Like, that's it. Ogres
these-
have layers.
These impersonations came just through, me doing these live shows and all that. But what I'm getting at is that nobody knew that until I started posting that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so if you got talents, man, show it. It's not
Showcase
bragging.
them.
I tell people in meetings all the time, it's not bragging.
Yeah.
If you are a CEO, you have a great new book, and you can business coach well, it's not bragging by you saying, hey, this is what we're doing at all, because people might not even know or give a shit until you post it. So
God,
it's
it's
huge.
so true. I will say, so many people that I work with are always so scared about showing or even showcasing like their accolades, like things that they've done, like all of their successes and their awards, and they're always like, "Oh, I just don't want to come off that way."
Think about
and
this.
you're not. You're educating your audience.
You're educating. Think
Yeah.
about this. If you are auditioning, or not auditioning, if you are trying to get in the NFL, they have a combine where you run the 40-yard dash, you do all these different plyometrics and drills, and NFL coaches judge you to see how did he do in the drills, and we're going to see what, or we're going to draft him in the NFL draft. Do you think those athletes are coming to the combine saying, I don't want to really show my speed because I don't want to be like, just make everybody look bad? No, this is an opportunity for a lifetime.
Yeah.
Your Instagram, your social media is an opportunity for a lifetime. You're auditioning to the world. You are showing, people, hey, I have some talents and gifts, and this is just what I do from an authentic purpose and authentic side of things. Now, I do want to say there are pros and cons, right? I'm not saying to live in that social media world like, oh my God, nobody's reacting to me. But I'm just saying use it in a positive, authentic manner.
Yeah.
Where people can see the gifts God has given you and to promote that.
Yeah.
But I was talking to my friend the other day. We do live in an age where, social media is a world where if you're 23 years old, or if you're 25 years old and you're making $60K a year, you feel like you're broke and you're awful. And it's like, dude, hold up. No, you're not. You're still enough. Stop comparing. Stop comparing what the social media world is. You do what God's called you to do. You focus on you, but just use social as something positive.
Yeah.
Because I think about, what if a Denzel Washington or any of these guys was on social media back in the 80s and, hey guys, I didn't get this role in a part, But I'm still working hard, and people are commenting, going, "Oh, you're gonna be okay." And now he's thinking I shouldn't even be an actor anymore. And it's like, no, dude, this is a step in the process. It's just a season, not a destination. So, in any event, I'm rambling, but use social media to the positive side. Don't get stuck into it, but it is a positive thing, and stay on that authentic and genuine side.
Yeah.
Authenticity, I think, is that key word right there. This might hurt some people's feelings, but I don't care. You guys, Instagram is really a highlight reel of everybody's lives, meaning when you look at Instagram and you see everybody around you, you're like, they're just killing it, man. Like, I can't compete with that. I can't jump on there. 9 out of 10 of those people, I don't want to say are miserable because that's not the case, but 9 out of 10 of those people are not doing as well as it looks like because they're just posting the best of the best. So if anything, being authentic, I don't want to say self-deprecate, but not just show the best parts of your life, but show like your struggles, show stuff that you learned, lessons you're learning, how you're overcoming stuff, post some cool highlights here and there. But if anything, that probably might do better because people resonate with that a lot more and they're able to relate a lot more to that. Like the 3 keys to viral content, like we said before, one of them being relatability. The more relatable you are to your specific audience, the better it's going to be with your content. The more people are going to want to listen to you and they're going to want to follow you and engage with you. So that's massive, dude.
No, and I think it does, and it humanizes you as well. Like, I think that, like, I started talking a lot about I started talking about my mental health, which I think is like something that's really massive, but I've always been so skittish to talk about because it's something that, like, you look at someone who's like successful, but like, we don't talk about that side of things, right? We keep it very like, everything's good, and we're rocking and rolling. I went over these things, but like, I've conquered it. And so it's been really neat because as I started talking about it, it's probably been like maybe 2 years that I really started leaning into not just showing the highlight reel of my life and being like, here's my struggles of like just the stupid things that have happened or my mental stuff or whatever. But the amount of people that have connected with me that still message me to this day, that have thanked me, that have said I have reached out to my doctor, like all that stuff, it is like game changer. And it has made me like,
I'm telling you this, Kaylin, that's such a great statement because especially in my career field of entertainment or media, there's a lot of people where you get 30 years old, you're working on extra and you're making $500K a year, you have some fame, but you're saying, but I'm not Oprah. Fuck. Oh my God, what's going on? Why? And this depression sinks in. And in the social media world only amplifies that.
Yeah.
And you just have to know that where I'm at in my life, God has called me here. I'm focusing on where I'm supposed to be. And I think social media has a lot of people aborting their purpose because it's not happening fast enough. Then you just have to focus on you, man, and like you said, be vulnerable and know that, hey, I'm doing what I'm called to do. This is where I'm supposed to be at, and I'm staying here. Because I had that in December. I had a great month. I was just with Nick Saban and all these events, but it was a lot of going on, and I almost, depression wanted to seek in of like, I want to do more. How about NBC or how? I'm thinking like all up in the clouds. I'm like, hold up, man, you're blessed. Yeah. This is great. So gratitude is key in this lane.
Ooh, yeah. I think everybody compares themselves all the time.
Oh, we talk about this. Gosh, the imposter syndrome is huge.
Yeah, that's really what holds people back.
Dude, I think. I was just on with my coach yesterday actually, and we were talking about that, and he was just like, sometimes like he says like all the time, he's like, I get imposter syndrome. He's like, I'm coaching you guys, being like, should I be doing this? Like, should I be coaching? And he's exceptional, so yes, he should be. But like, he gets in his head too, and this is somebody who's like wicked successful, and so it happens to everybody. And I think it's just reminding ourselves that I
was having a conversation with a CEO the other day, a dude who has a net worth with many, many zeros at the end of that number. And I asked him, I was like, dude, I don't remember exactly how I worded it, but I said, it's basically just asking him, how did you get to where you're at, and how, like, a lot, you're a smart guy. And he was like, dude, he's like, I don't know what I'm doing. And I was like, what? He was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. He's like, I just figured it out. And he was like, but the difference is, everybody doesn't know what they're doing, but the difference is, I do it anyway. He's like, I just figure it out. And most importantly, I find people around me, and I surround myself with people that do know what they're doing. I hire people that know what they're doing, that are better than me in these instances. So that's massive. People always comparing themselves. Guys, actually, it's a very good thing to compare yourself, but you only compare yourself to one individual.
And
that's yourself.
To know that the people you look up to and you see and you revere on TV, Tony Robbins, Oprah, all that, there's no difference between you and them. The only difference is just they either persevered, they had the right relationship and connection, and they were in the right space at the right time. There's no difference between. I'm around a lot of those guys a lot of the time. It's like, no, there's no difference. It's just, hey, they happen to be right there in alignment. You know, a lot of people who have gifts, if you were in the right place, right time in New York or LA, right there, boom, you would be there too. So,
Yeah, I think I'd like to sum this up, wrap it up with. I have a question for all you guys. What would you say? We'll kind of go around the table here. What's your biggest weakness / downfall that holds you back? What's your bottleneck within yourself?
I mean, I can start immediately with just
Yeah.
the fact that I literally, and I've battled this for a long time, and we all do, is the God, am I good enough? Am I really good enough? And I think starting this business, like recently, I went through a lot of that of being like, oh my God, should I even be starting this? Am I even worth it? And I've been reminded so many times and had to look at, and my coach had said it yesterday, sort of like all your successes and like look at that. You're allowed to kind of build out that sheet and be like, yeah, I am. Like, I am worthy of this. So I will say, and I struggle with that every day. Like, I will literally have one instance where imposter syndrome like kicks in. I look at somebody else, they're crushing it, and I go, I'm a freaking failure. I am totally failing at this. I'm not posting enough reels. I'm not doing this. I'm not blah, 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 blah. And I have to remind myself. And yeah, that is a major struggle.
I think a lot of people struggle with that, so that's pretty relatable. How are you working towards that?
Oh gosh,
to overcome it?
so many things. So I even asked for different recommendations, like podcast wise. So reading books, that kind of stuff, super, super helps. And just reminding myself again, like having to go, okay, maybe we mute that person. And if they haven't even done anything to me other than my own insecurities and trying to step back away from that. I also, if I'm working and I just start feeling really down, I literally will stop what I'm doing and I'll go and I'll take a bath or I'll go cook food or I'll do something else. And I just try to like knock my mind shift like out of that. I do that all the time now because I'm at home all the time, which I haven't been home like this forever,
Yeah.
you know? And
I'll tell you one thing, man, because to be real, I don't want this to come off as arrogant, but I don't have any weakness or downfall because at the end of the day, I've gotten to the place where I just know, and we all have to think this, I just know what I do is different than somebody else. So what you do is different. What you do is different. So once you get to a place to where, Billy Joel shouldn't feel jealous because Elton John's doing something.
Yeah.
Because he's
yeah.
Billy Joel, Elton
Yeah.
John, whatever. DiCaprio shouldn't feel down because Denzel, because I'm DiCaprio,
Yeah.
So I think we have to know that we offer different things, different talents, different
Yeah.
gifts that are very successful. And we're in our own lane, our own industry, in our own time, in our own journey, in our own purpose. And I think the more we focus on that truth realm instead of the facts realm and saying, hey, I am abundant, I am blessed, I'm doing something gifted. Hey, I'm Caitlin, I'm talented, I'm connectable, people like me. Hey, I'm Ridge, I'm smart on my video thing. Hey, I'm DMAC. When you start thinking like that, then you have that mindset of, I call it Kanye mindset, like nothing can stop me because I'm different. I'm bringing something different to the table. Nobody can stop what I do, who I am, how I come at it. And I think most people need to think that way.
That mind shift.
I mean,
I'm an author of a book, but oh my God, there's so many good authors. Yeah, but there's no authors like you. Oh, I'm a speaker, but there's so many good coaches out there. Yeah, but there's nobody like you.
Oh.
I just need to wake up in the morning to this.
No, that's
like,
yeah, there's nobody like you.
There's nobody
but
like you.
That's the thing, though, is really figure out what actually makes you different.
yeah.
And how do you harness that, leverage it,
Yeah.
figure out that one thing, and then go full bore on emphasizing this is why I'm different.
This is why I'm
Yeah.
different.
But like legitimately different, not like if you're an agent and you're like, oh, we're a concierge service or we go above and beyond for our clients. Like, no, none of this cliche stuff. Like what actually makes you different? How
Right.
can nobody touch you? And then capitalize on that. That's huge.
Right.
Yeah.
So I respect that. Like you're comfortable, you know what you're doing, you're confident in yourself, but everybody's got a weakness, bro. Everybody has something, whether they realize it or not. You don't have to talk about it right now, but you got something. And you know what? I think you actually know. I actually think you know what it is.
Weakness.
It doesn't have to be professionally. It could be personally, like within yourself. A battle that maybe you're fighting, or maybe you don't want to talk about it. That's cool too.
Honestly, dude,
I don't put you on the spot, but I am putting you on the spot.
He's probably like a terrible driver or something like that, right? Like,
he's like, man, I just can't stop getting tickets.
boy, I mean, I don't know. If the one thing that comes to mind now is just maybe like I always just think like, my vision of myself is to be that Oprah figure, Ryan Seacrest figure. So and that's a big thought to some, right?
Yeah.
But that's just what I see myself as, right? So maybe that weakness is sometimes, I can, to be honest, like tomorrow I could have a huge guest on my show, a celebrity, and then I interview them. But after that, I'm still kind of like, I mean, that was cool, but like, where are we at?
Yeah.
So I have to be better at, hey, bro, shit, man, that was a big guest.
That was a big
like,
win.
Relax, right?
Yeah.
Like I was literally at the NBA Hall of Fame for this suit company, Reveal Suits. I'm their spokesman.
I
like,
saw that.
And we're
So
there around
cool.
all these LeBron and all these guys, and after we got to talk with some of them, I interviewed some of them, I was still kind of like, okay, like, so I need to work on that because that is a channel. If you don't protect that to where depression can sit in and nothing's ever good enough.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like, that's just, I mean, people can talk about this with you, but that's just the way I think, bro. I just think
I love
fucking
it.
that big. You know what I mean? So it's like, I just have to protect that. It's good to think big, but just also like give yourself credit. Like, hey, bro, that shit was dope.
Yeah.
Like, harness that. Be content with that. Go grab a drink. Have fun.
Yeah.
Congratulate it instead of just being like, no,
Celebrate.
that was okay. You know, so.
Which you have
Tell
had a
me.
lot of successes and a lot of cool people like on your show. It's been awesome to watch. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate
So.
it.
I mean, you haven't had me on yet.
Oh my gosh.
Kidding. Wait, you guys had a whole list. Do we have any more questions?
Well, yeah. Well, we're about an hour into this thing. We gotta.
Okay, yeah, we gotta
we're
wrap
gonna-
it up.
Don't want to go too long, but
2
well,
hour Joe Rogan podcast.
3 hours. Well, I'm not perfect, so I've got some weaknesses. Let's see. What?
You're never living it down, David. I'm sorry, but like this is we're forever going to bring this up with you. So I'm gonna put him in my phone as DMAC.
DMAC.
Perfect.
Perfection.
Perfection.
That's what the title of this podcast is gonna be now. It's gonna be DMAC the perfectionist.
Oh my
Or
god.
the,
Fucking nice.
Yeah, I can't.
I don't know. I don't want to say like imposter syndrome because you kind of said that already. I don't want to steal your thing. I don't, dude. I think it's oh my gosh. I don't know. Probably. I think it's the balance of ensuring
hair.
confidence versus humility at the same time. That can come off as
Oh, that
arrogance
is
because
good.
I'm trying to figure out that balance.
Yeah.
I've never really been accused of being arrogant, only by like a handful of people, but it's something that I feel like can, and those people
Hold on.
those
You
people don't
have been
matter.
accused. You're like I never have, but I have.
like not a ton, but like a couple times. It
Yeah.
was a long time ago. It wasn't like really
Yeah,
recent or anything,
yeah.
But it's something that I think it's a passive subconscious toll that can happen to somebody when they start to see success. When they start to build success, it can start to get to them, and they can start to think, yeah, I'm the shit. I know nobody can touch me. You know what I mean? Which I think is good when you know what you're capable of, you know your value, and you know what you can provide to other people. But if you don't control it and you don't know how to properly harness and manage that, Jordan Peterson talked about this actually. I love that dude.
Or portray it, yeah.
He talked about the balance between humility and confidence. Because you lean more towards confidence, you can become arrogant. You lean more
Yeah.
towards humility, you start getting perceived as not so much of an expert. You know what I mean? So I think it's
Yeah.
always constantly finding that balance because I'm a pretty harsh dude at times. Like you would agree, right? Like
You're
I
blunt.
ask hard questions. I can be blunt.
Yeah.
And everybody's different. Everybody has different personalities. Some people are like, dude, I love that aspect of you.
I
Some
wish
people
I
are
had
like,
more of that.
I feel the same way. I wish I was more.
We're
yeah,
very
that way.
diplomatic. Like,
Yes.
oh, cool, great.
which is a
Yes.
great quality.
Yes.
Like that.
No.
Yeah. Oh, actually, hard pass. So you're very much David. It's a no for me.
Yeah,
like,
don't you wish
no
we
for
had
me,
that?
dog.
dude.
Like-
Oh my God.
They're
I
so
would live.
connectable. They're just like,
Yes.
oh, people. Reggie just like, no. So why would you do that?
Yeah, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh,
Oh my
okay, we're gonna
God.
tame the people pleasing. Yeah,
Right.
but
Sounds like
you're
a-
not
like
wrong.
A robot.
We're people.
But
people,
We
right?
yes.
Here's what
hardcore.
I will say is like a good thing that I have noticed is like those people in the past that have like referred to me as that are like, oh man, he kind of talks down to me, which dude, I will never do that to somebody. Like maybe, but if it can be, here's what I always say: it doesn't matter what you say. What matters is how people perceive what you said. So if somebody says, dude, the way you talked to me was this way, or like you said this to me and it was negative, and I'm like, I didn't say that to you. Doesn't matter what you think you said or what you said. What matters is how it's perceived, which is huge and it's so important because if you can really make sure you get to that level of people skills where you ensure you're aware of how what you're saying is being perceived, then you're golden. Because all the time people are like, no, dude, I didn't say that. I said this. It's like, dude, it doesn't matter. Like, figure out your connotation, figure out your body language, ensure
That's
you know who you're
good.
talking to, match their
Yeah.
energy, figure out how they communicate, and then communicate that way with them.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't know how I got to.
No, that was good. That was
what
yeah.
I
it
was
was
what I
really
was saying
good.
was the people in the past that have like referred to me as that. ironically enough, are just not people that matter to me. They're people I don't really know. They're not really at a higher position than me. And what I really try to do too is like somebody that's further along than I am. I try so hard to be open-minded and just listen to them and be a sponge. Because I'm like, obviously they're further ahead than I am. Obviously they know more than I do. So it would be foolish of me to, I don't want to say like big dog, or it would be foolish of me to act like I know more than they are, or I'm on the same level as them.
You know what's
so I try to listen.
Incredible
you know what I
about
mean?
this right here is that this already shows kind of what I was saying of knowing you're in your own lane. God's got you. You're on your own purpose. We're all here and we're all in the realm of marketing, but we're all it's all cordial. Right?
Yeah.
There's
Oh, gosh, yeah.
There's some people who are like, I'm rich.
Oh yeah, dude. No, he's a competitor of mine. I'm not talking to you.
I'm not
Get out of
talking
here.
to DMAC, I'm
Yeah,
talking
that's
to
not gonna
Rich.
get you
I'm not
far in
talking to-
Boise,
screw that
though.
guy, right?
Yeah.
Notice
It's like, dude,
notice
like-
the most successful people in the world work directly with their competitors.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember you saying that. And the thing
Yeah.
is, like, I have no animosity towards you or Ridge or anybody who's doing something promotional. Because at the end of the day, bro, it's like, bro, like, they're doing their thing. Like,
And we may not even be attracting the same people, and there's going to be so many different things. Yeah, like you said, we all have like our own like magic,
it's an
really, and
abundance
so
mindset.
yeah, 100%. I agree. So
Sorry, 1 second.
we'll wait.
So, sorry. Yeah, just hang on, guys. Give me a minute. I think that's probably the biggest weakness is probably finding the balance between humility and confidence.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's a book title.
It is. Yeah.
I think it's an art form. It plays in every aspect of your life: negotiation, sales, normal conversation.
I know. Material.
It's okay. But yeah, so that was great, dude. I think there's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
This. How do we sum this up? What was this podcast about? Talking about. I don't want to say Mark. That's too
I would
broad,
just say
but-
purpose driven.
yeah.
Finding your what's up, bro? Finding your purpose, and then finding your purpose in the elements of marketing. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Utilizing social media and like building kind of who you are, obviously staying authentic. I think that's something we touched on quite a bit.
I like it.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, this has been great, guys. Welcome. Thank you again for the episode 3, I think, of the Creative
is
Hub
episode
podcast
3, yeah.
with DMAC. This was great. Fantastic. Appreciate you
Yeah,
coming out,
you were a
brother.
great
Thank
guest.
you.
Absolutely.
100%.
Stay tuned for the next one,
Yeah.
guys.